My name is Shepard Singh, and I will be delivering an historical speech titled Remarks by the President at United States of Women Summit. It was almost 100 years ago that Alice Paul and her fellow suffragists were arrested for picketing outside the White House for the right to vote. Today, women make up more than half of the electorate. For the first time in history, a woman is a major party's presumptive presidential nominee. In 1961, women made up less than 40% of college students. Today, you earn almost 60% of college degrees, making up roughly half of the workforce. In the old days, women actually needed a husband to open a credit card. Today, more women are choosing to be single, and all Americans are able to marry whoever they love. 54 years ago, Katherine Johnson did the behind-the-scenes math to put a man into orbit. Today, almost 60 women have blasted into space themselves. Women are leading America at every level of society. And that is progress. But we also have to remember that progress is not inevitable. It's the result of decades of slow, tireless, often frustrating, and unheralded work by people like Gloria Steinem. People who opened up our eyes to the discrimination that women face. People like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who insisted on equal justice under the law. People like Patsy Mink, who redefined what leadership looks like. And yes, people like Hillary Clinton, who've raised the expectations of our daughters and our sons for what is possible. In other words, our progress has been the result of countless ordinary women and men whose names will never be written into the history books or chiseled upon monuments, but who dedicated their lives to ensuring that America lives up to its promise of liberty and justice for all. But this issue of how we support working families, the policies that we could put in place that would make a meaningful difference, here we actually have solutions in front of us. We need equal work for equal pay. We need paid family and sick leave. We need affordable childcare. We've got to raise the minimum wage. If we're truly a nation of family values, we should guarantee paid maternity and paternity leave too. That's how you value families. That's how employers retain great workers. And it's good for women, because when childcare falls disproportionately on mothers, it makes it that much harder to advance in their careers. So we've got to retool our system so families and businesses can thrive. If we're going to change our policies, we must also change our stereotypes of men and women. We need to change the attitude that raises our girls to be demure and our boys to be assertive, that criticizes our daughters for speaking out and our sons for shedding a tear. We need to keep changing the attitude that congratulates men for changing a diaper but penalizes working moms. We need to keep changing the attitude that prioritizes being confident, competitive, and ambitious in the workplace, unless you're a woman. We need to keep changing a culture that shines a particularly unforgiving light on women and girls of color, about how they look, about how they feel, about what they should or should not do. That's why we're encouraging more girls to pursue their love for science and technology and engineering and math. That's why we've highlighted women trailblazers and encouraged the media to depict more examples of women in STEM. Because it's hard to be what you can't see. This is the future that we're building. One where all of us here at home and around the world are free to live out our dreams. Where our children's aspirations aren't segregated into pink and blue. Where working families don't have to choose between taking care of a loved one and earning a paycheck. Where women and girls, no matter where they live, are free from fear of violence. A future where women lead half our businesses, make up half of Congress, where our girls know that they can hold any job and run any company and compete on any field. That's the future that we're trying to build. And the good news is your generation already believes every door is open to them. They're not going to hold themselves back. They can rise to the top of whatever field they choose. They think discrimination is for losers. They think it's weird we haven't already had a woman president. They expect the world to catch up to them. But it will take leadership. It will take the right policies. It's going to take creating more opportunities. It requires us telling each other and our children the right stories. Because the stories we tell matter. A story that's still being written. And together, we can build a world that's more just and more prosperous and more free. That's a job for all of us. Thank you.